All right, Matt. We're starting with quarterbacks. We're starting with all in. And I think we have the same name to start things off with.
Yeah, so we talked about this. We're trying to avoid harping on players that we've already talked a ton about. Now, obviously, if there was supposed to be a plant my flag in the ground player, I would have planted that flag firmly in the Tua Tagovailoa camp. And then Tanner would have taken my flag out. He would have put his flag in. And then I would be saying, I don't know what to do with this flag that I bought with my face on it. But we've talked a ton about Tua. We've talked a ton about Deshaun Watson. Those are both guys that both of us are really in on. So for me, I am putting in here, I'm in on Kyler Murray.
Okay.
And I know that, it's a little strange because there is the injury concerns. I think my being in on Kyler is maybe being less in on actually like Kyler as a fantasy asset and more of the Cardinals, maybe. But I do think Kyler is a great later round stash to take. If he does miss time to start the year, you'll be able to throw him on your IR. And I'm fully expecting him to play as soon as he can, as soon as he's healthy. I'm expecting that to be in the first third of the season, I think. I think within the first 6 weeks, we'll see Kyler Murray on the football field. And I look around at quarterbacks that are kind of going around him. None of them have the upside that Kyler Murray does. And I know with the ACL, he may not run right away as much. But I think that with that defense being as bad as it is, he can kind of game flow his way to some higher volume passing wise, and he will still run. I don't expect Kyler Murray to just become a stand in the pocket passer just because he tore his ACL. I do expect him to run again pretty much immediately.
Yeah, I love Kyler Murray where he's going right now. Unfortunately, I feel like
He's free.
I feel like I've been getting a good enough quarterback, one of my top eights every draft, that I don't really feel it necessary to take Kyler where he is. It's still a concern when he's going to come back. And
He's going after Kenny Pickett.
yeah, that's insane. I would rather have 2 games of Kyler Murray than draft Kenny Pickett. But yeah, I feel like if he plays half the season, he's a value where he is because he's going to be on the IR. Like you said, you can stash him on the IR. So yeah, it really comes down to how bad is the Cardinals? How bad are they going to be? Of course, this has been talked about, I feel like, a lot this offseason. And the Cardinals are like 1-7, and he's ready to come back week 8. I don't remember when their bye is, but will they even bring him back if they're, contending for the number 1 pick?
See, and I think that even if they're contending for the number 1 pick, that's in no way should stop them because I
No,
don't think
it shouldn't, but it's also smart to not
is it
necessarily rush your quarterback back
is okay. I
on
don't
it on
disagree
any knee
necessarily.
injury.
I don't necessarily disagree with the idea of that being your quarterback. I don't think he's their quarterback though.
You think
I
Caleb
think
Williams is their quarterback?
probably if they're
Well
one and
then
seven, if
well
they're
then
one and
why are you
seven,
playing Kyler?
because no team is trading for that contract if they haven't seen him play in a year.
That's a fair point.
I think Arizona has every incentive because I don't think Kyler Murray is good enough to win games, but I do think he can play well enough to showcase himself. I think he can play well enough to be a fantasy asset. I don't think Kyler Murray is going to be the difference between the first and the second overall pick for the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, and
And I think he's
two things with that.
I think he's untradeable if he doesn't play this year.
Two things with that. One, they don't necessarily have to just get the number 1 pick. They have another team's first round pick that
Right.
very well might be there as well.
Yeah.
The
They could
second
have the
thing
first
is
and second picks.
the second thing is Justin Fields, I think, is a very good quarterback, and he can win you games too. And the Bears, I felt like just watching them last year, found ways to make sure he did not win them games so they
Yeah.
could compete for the number 1 pick.
And how many games did Kyler play last season? They still ended up at the third overall pick, right? So if Kyler plays that
That
same
was
amount of
week
games, they can
14.
end up right there. Oh, was it that
Yeah,
few? Okay.
week 14. Yeah, it was. So it's not a very good roster. We know
It's
that.
not. They suck.
Yeah. So
I do real
and
quick.
as a fantasy player, I really hope Kyler comes back healthy as soon as he can. And part of that also is, yes, I have a dynasty team that would love to have him back.
I meant to send you a trade offer today and I forgot.
I will not be
Uh
trading Kyler.
no,
No.
not for Jordan Love plus Sky Moore. Because here's the thing. My next question just looking around at players at ADP here.
Were you actually going to send me that trade?
Yeah, I was gonna send you that trade today because we
Oh,
talked about Sky
this
Moore
would have
last
been my
episode.
reaction.
We talked about Sky Moore last episode. You love Sky Moore so much.
I would have expected that trade in our fun league where we bring a new guy in and he goes, "Hey man, what's up?" I'm like, "What's up?" And immediately he offers my Bijan Robinson for McCaffrey and 3 first-round picks. Or no, I'm sorry, it's Bijan and my 3 first-round picks.
Right? Yeah, from McCaffrey
for his Christian McCaffrey. I was like, all right, well, this is pretty fitting for this league right now.
So, in all seriousness, here on redraft with Kyler Murray, looking at where he's going, because you mentioned you like taking one of those top 8 quarterbacks.
Yep.
You find yourself then not taking Kyler.
Now this is redraft. We're talking.
This is redraft, right? This is redraft. So let's say you did spend a 5th round pick on Justin Fields, right? In round, what would this be? Round 14, I think. Math is hard for 12-team leagues. This is another reason I like 10.
Sure. Yeah.
Kyler Murray, or are you throwing the dart on Sky Moore?
What do I already have for quarterback?
Justin Fields.
I'll probably throw the dart on Sky Moore. Keep as my bench. Because if it's okay, 7
plus an IR.
7 plus an IR.
7 plus an IR, right? How many rounds? That's normal, right?
Or what round is this?
Well, it's 145 overall. So is that round 14?
Nah, that'll be like 12, wouldn't it?
So this is why I like 10-team leagues again, because math is easy on this guy. I look at 144 and I say, well, that's the 4th pick of round 4.
144 divided by 12 would be.
Wait, oh, yeah, that's literally 12.
That's literally 12.
It is literally 12, isn't it?
I thought I typed something in wrong, but no, that's literally 12. Yeah, no, I think if Kyler falls to that 12, 14 round range and I have 7 bench spots, I'm going to take Kyler, especially I have the IR. I'm not taking Kyler in a 5-man bench. I was just talking about this.
Well, 5-man bench with an IR.
Yes. And Kyler's really about the only one right now. I think that's because it doesn't look like Javonte starting on IR.
Right.
So.
And even if he does, though, man, that's a difference there because Javonte costs.
Yeah.
Like
Kyler's, not if he's going to start the year on IR.
I wonder if he still would.
Well, his ADP is going to get driven down overall because some leagues won't have IR spots.
How far down do you think he goes, though?
That's a great question.
I mean, that's a whole different conversation. We don't need to muddle up what we're talking about, but
and we've probably spent enough time on Kyler already.
That's true. I was just going to throw out a couple other guys who are going around him at other positions because I'm with you on the quarterback thing.
Yeah, I kind of think we should look at running backs, question mark running backs in its own episode.
Yeah,
with Javonte, and then we might have more answers with Saquon and Jacobs by then, but maybe not.
Kamara, we're getting more information. Right.
So
Dalvin, obviously.
Let's stay on topic here.
Kyler Murray or Devin Singletary?
Kyler
Murray or you hate Romeo Dobbs. Let's go with Roshan Johnson.
Hate Romeo Dobbs?
Yeah, you hated Romeo Dobbs last episode. So I just skipped right over it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm going the wrong direction. Maybe going up here. Kyler Murray or Jacoby Myers?
I'm not a Jacoby Myers guy.
Kyler Murray or Zay Flowers?
Kyler
Murray or
I think the answer is going to be Kyler for all of these.
I'm moving up pretty good here. Elijah Mitchell.
Do I have CMC?
You do not.
Kyler
Murray. You already okay, so you have Justin Fields, right?
Yep.
You also have, let's go with who's Dalton Schultz.
Okay.
Kyler Murray or Chig?
That's a
and you know one. I'm picking right behind you twice.
Oh, so
you know
Kyler.
Chig ain't come back around.
That's fine. I'll take Kyler then. Well, if you're picking behind me twice, if you have swing picks, then I'm not one of those is not coming back to me for sure.
Exactly.
I'm only getting one of them. I'm only getting one of them.
Was to make you decide on which one you're really wanting.
I'll take Kyler. I already have Schultz. I'm sure Dulcich is still out there, or
well, you know, I'm taking Dulcich too, right?
I would love to see you go back-to-back tight ends.
I've got 8 picks between your picks.
Just to double snipe me. Okay. All right.
Who are you in on a quarterback?
Okay, so I did want to make a note about Tua real quick because you said it's like I picked up your flag
You
and
did.
planted it myself. I think it's more of you discovered this island first, and it's a beautiful island. But now, a year later, a ton more people have found it, myself included, and we are commercializing it.
Okay, did they find it, but then also found like a crack in the foundation or something though? Because a lot of people like found it when, oh, this is great. Uh-oh, there's a problem here. And like a
Yeah.
lot of people are out now.
Look, the beaches are just a little rocky. Like they're not clean, they're a little
Well,
rocky.
is there like a fault line to where like an earthquake could happen at any moment and then the
Yes.
island is just
That
gone?
yeah, that's a good one. There's a
Yeah.
volcano on the island.
That makes a lot more
It's
sense.
literally just the island from Lost at this point. But it looks nice,
is
right?
is Tyreek Hill the smoke monster?
But no, honestly, like Tua has so much upside if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
But yes, could be gone like that. The quarterback I am all in on is Justin Herbert. I'm going a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for Justin Herbert. I have him as my quarterback 6 right now. I do have Lamar and Fields ahead of him in a 6 point per passing touchdown league. I might take Herbert over Fields. Like Fields for sure if it's not 6 point, but I just think Herbert's upside this year is so up there. He threw for, let's see, I had it pulled up here. He threw for 4,700 yards last year with his most pass attempts of his career. So in 15 games rookie year, 396, a full 17 in 2021, 443. Last year all the way up to 447, but he threw for almost 300 less yards in 22 than he did in 21. The A dot was, or the yards per attempt were down, right? He was 7.3 as a rookie, 7.5 his sophomore year, down to 6.8 his
And the
third year.
intent and the intended air yards per attempt were way down last
Just
year.
everything was down. Yards per catch
Yeah.
were down. He was 10.9, then 11.3, down to 9.9.
Both Keenan and Mike Williams missed quite a bit of time each.
And he also had the rib injury himself,
Yeah.
which I don't know if I will be able to find his rushing quickly.
147 yards on 54 attempts, 0 touchdowns. I think Justin Herbert as a rusher was a little overrated. I think a
I
lot of
don't
people.
I don't think 250 to 300 is out of the question for him. He was 150 or 147 last year.
I
But
don't
I
think
think
that's
I
out of
think
the
he'll be
question.
I think he's closer to 300 when he's fully healthy.
Yeah, I just think a lot of people viewed him as being this like so much more mobile than Burrow. When I think I would bet on Burrow to have more rushing production.
Okay. I kind of think Herbert fully healthy would rush a little bit more. Neither one of them is going to win you a week with their legs, but
Right.
yeah, I just think that he threw for 5,000 yards in 2021. I honestly think he's going to flirt with that again. His so this is kind of wild to me. His touchdowns have been 31, 38, 25. His touchdown percentage was just dropped all the way down to 3.6 this past year. He was 5.2, 5.7, 3.6. I think this could be a spike year for him. He gets around that 6% touchdown mark. And 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns definitely is not out of the realm of possibility. Now, touchdowns have been double digit, or interceptions have been double digits every year. So I just think we're going to see the best Justin Herbert we have seen so far in his career with Kellen Moore there. And yes, I do think a little bit of it is going to depend on the health of two guys who did not stay healthy last year, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
Right.
You also bring another guy now that if one of them goes
Yes.
down, you're a lot better off than what they were last year when
Yep.
those guys went down. With old QJ. Is it one? QJ1? Or what was his number?
Was it
I already
5?
forgot it. I don't remember now.
It was a weird. I hate these receivers numbers. We've gone over that before too.
Yeah. But
Question.
I'm all in on Herbert.
So I get that, and I do want to push back a little bit on you saying the best Herbert we've ever seen, because I do think 5,038. If that's the best year of his career, I don't think that's a bad thing, right? Like it's really hard to top that. But what I want to bring up though is where he's going, because about a month ago, I would totally agree with you because there was a gap about a month ago between him and Fields. I actually have, and we can transition this straight in. The quarterbacks I am folding on is this group. is the Fields. I'm wearing this shirt for a reason. Lamar and Herbert, and Burrow too. Um, they're going in the like 30s to early 40s. Like, are you taking Herbert over Keenan Allen, over his receiver?
I'm trying to get ADP pulled up right now.
I've got it on Fancy Pros. He's going
Here we
43rd
go.
overall at QB7.
43rd overall.
Yeah, well, 43rd player, 44th on average. I was going by player because you know how the picks can be averaged out. I was going
Right.
via player rank. He's the 43rd player off the board.
So I'm showing him at
I've,
56 on Fantasy Pros.
oh, I'm on Fancy Pros. What am I seeing that
So
wrong
I'm
then?
showing him kind of in the middle of the fourth round.
Are you on their ADP consensus?
Yeah,
That's where I'm at.
overall. Let's see. What scoring are you on? Not that it should make a 10-point
Uh,
difference, but
just well, it's a quarterback, so I'm on standard. I
well,
guess I could
I'm
go.
on overall,
Yeah,
not quarterback. I'm on overall.
right, right. I was on standard though, so let me switch over to PPR. Okay, that put him down at 56. Okay, well,
Okay.
all of my numbers were based on standard because I
Still
didn't flip that
still
button.
QB7 though.
Still is QB7, but
And that's also the middle of the fourth round.
the players around him do look a little bit better now because when I was on standard, the players around him, I was like, man, I don't know if I can take him over some of those guys. But even flipping over to PPR now, though, Justin Herbert going one spot behind Kenneth Walker, I don't mind that, but going, right before Chris Godwin, right before J.K.
Well,
Dobbins.
he is at a range of players right now that I am not really sold on any of them. And so I could definitely see myself, if I feel like Herbert is the last quarterback left of my like top 7, I could see myself going for him. Now, of course, Tua is always the fallback, right? So that makes it a little bit
Right.
more difficult to like really bang the drum on, oh yeah, pay a fourth or a mid fourth round pick for Herbert. But I do think if everything clicks, right, wide receivers stay healthy, Kellen Moore stays there, you're going to be very happy that you have Justin Herbert on your team.
Yeah, my argument looked a lot better when I was on standard scoring.
No,
It
your
just did.
argument is still fair because quarterback, it's not as deep as what it used to be, but it's also still probably 8 guys deep
Yeah.
where you're starting them every week and you're feeling good about them. That's still not insanely shallow where you need to pay an absolute premium for them. All right. Whereas most weeks, if you're getting Tua a couple rounds later, like Tua's the answer there because Tua and Herbert could very well week to week be very close to each other.
Yeah, I think for
But
me too, it's also just a draft comfort level where for a decade now, I have not been taking quarterbacks in the first 8 picks. And so now it's like so hard for my brain to like
yeah,
compute how do I build a team if I take a quarterback that early?
but this
You
is kind of
know,
the new age where it's like you get to the 4th round and you get one of your top quarterbacks on the board. That's a good spot for quarterback.
yeah. And so yeah, it's just been kind of hard for me to like get my brain to go there. And I think
Yeah.
it is nice though for my brain that I do genuinely very much like two of the quarterbacks that are still on the board 40 picks after Herbert because it is that big of a gap between him and Watson.
Yeah. And so I think we should just go right into who I'm folding because it kind of fits right in. It's right in the same tier, sandwiched in between the 2 tiers for me anyways. But I'm folding Trevor Lawrence this year. It has nothing to do with Trevor himself. I think he's an immense talent. I do love Calvin Ridley this year. Um, I think this offense is going to be good, and I think they're going to dominate the AFC South. But if I miss out on the tier in front of him, I would much rather have the tier in front of him, which for me is Lamar, Fields, Herbert, and Burrow. I would much rather have one of those guys than Trevor. And if I miss out on those guys and I'm staring at Trevor, I'm just going to skip over him and try and get Tua the next round, or I'm just going to wait for Tua and also have Watson as my next fallback. But I just don't see myself drafting Trevor this year. And a lot of it's just because there's just other guys I like at different values. I'm either going to pay up for one of the guys in front of him or I'm going to wait for one of the guys behind him.
He does. He feels a little bit almost like how I always feel like I was kind of down Dallas Goddard for a few years because it was like, I don't really like Goddard. I'll just wait and take one of these other tight ends after him that I don't have to pay as much for, right? And I feel like that, like Trevor's in that bridge spot where it's like he's almost got the same cost as a Justin Herbert, but I don't have the same level of confidence in that I have in Justin Herbert. And so if I'm going to pay the cost, let me get the advantage. And I feel like with Trevor, you're paying a similar cost, you're not getting a similar advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously we did exactly what we thought we were going to do. We're going to spend way too much time on the very first topic of this. So who are you folding? And we're going to, I think we can go through running backs pretty quick because I think we have mostly talked about a lot of these guys. So who are you folding for quarterback?
My folding was the Fields, Herbert, Lamar.
Oh yeah. Yep. You said that. You said that. Yep.
Yeah. I'm just not quite willing to pay up to that like round 4, round 5 cost. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed me and Tanner talking about the quarterbacks that we are all in on and the ones that we are folding those cards away on. Hey, be sure to go check out the running back episode we did with the same exact theme. That one's posted up at the exact same time as this one, so they'll both be up together. Go check that one out right now.